How you doing? So excited to be testifying. Hi, Judge.
Excuse me, Miss Van Rensselaer.
Yeah?
Place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Certainly. Why not?
What is your name?
Real or professional?
Both, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. My real name is Ruby O'Toole. But if we should ever get friendly, don't call me Ruby. I hate that name.
But professionally, you're known as Roberta Van Rensselaer?
That's my nom de plume. I'm a terpsichorean.
You mean you dance?
That's a common name for it.
And where were you employed last?
At the club Shea O'Toole. No cover charge.
Who was your employer?
The owner, George Lefty O'Toole.
Were you related to him?
No! I was his wife.
I beg your pardon. Now, could you please tell us, do you know Mr. Regan?
I've met the rat.
I take it you don't have much affection for him.
If we were cast off together on a lonely island, it would still be lonely.
Could you give us your reason for your dislike of Mr. Regan?
Because he killed Lefty O'Toole.
Your Honor, we object.
Strike it out.
You must forego your personal opinion, Ms. Van Rensselaer, and only allow yourself to think about the facts of the case. Was Mr. Lefty O'Toole and Regan business partners?
If Lefty had stooped that low, he would have broke his back.
And would you consider them rivals?
Larry might say so, but Lefty just considered him an amusement, like golf or fishing.
When did you last see Mr. Regan?
See him or hear from him?
See him.
About a month before Lefty was rubbed out, Regan came over to the club one night to see Lefty, and Lefty had me sit at the table and listen. He always did that because Regan had been trying to muscle in.
What did Regan want that night?
Said he wanted to sell out.
Did that surprise you?
You could have carried me out in a spoon.
Tell us, was Lefty O'Toole interested in such a proposition?
No. He said Larry don't sit long enough in one place to get a shine on his pants.
Why did Regan want to sell out?
His story was he was leaving the country for good. Described Jane he had on the run and a lot of important money she's going to have, and how they were going to South America to put the equator between them and the income tax boys.
Did he mention who the woman was?
No, but Lefty knew. Said it was some Jane working in Faulkner's office, but it wouldn't do him any good because Faulkner would stop him.
What did Regan say to that?
Regan said Faulkner was going away for good, and Lefty says he planned to erase him, and Regan answers, no, he's gonna commit a fake suicide. And won't he be surprised when he finds it's real?
Objection, this is hearsay and not admissible.
Overruled.
Exception.
Now, did you recall any other information from that night?
They talked about a price for his interest, and Lefty said he would think it over.
Now, when did you last hear from Regan?
On January 16th, Regan phoned the house and asked for Lefty, or I put Lefty on the phone, and after they talked, Lefty said he was going out to meet Regan and settle the deal. Sands Point.
Regan Lefty had gone to go meet up with Regan?
Yeah, to go to Long Island. He was put on the spot on the Queensboro Bridge.
And later he was found dead?
Yeah, and an hour after, his body disappeared.
Thank you, Miss Van Rensselaer. That's all.
Miss Van Rensselaer, you are the widow of George O'Toole,
Yeah,
and you hate Lawrence Regan.
I swear to it.
Well, haven't you let this influence your testimony?
How do you mean?
I mean that you're here for revenge. That you testify about things you know nothing about. For example, you said that Mr. Regan was losing money, but how could you possibly know that?
We kept better books for Regan than he kept for the government.
You said your husband was killed by a rival gangster?
Yeah, and the man who did it
Please
was...
confine yourself to the questions put to you. You said that your husband was killed or put on the spot by rival gangsters.
Couldn't possibly have been anyone else.
But you didn't consider Regan a rival. Isn't that what you just said?
You don't have to consider a skunk your rival just because you try to keep him off your farm.
That's all, Miss Van Rensselaer.
Killing Lefty O'Toole was the
All,
dirtiest trick.
Miss Van Rensselaer.
It was, Duty Judge.
Any more witnesses?